Hi, I'm Philip Carr-Gomm, and this is This Magical Life, your guide to the intersection of psychology, spirituality, and wisdom. Hello, everybody. This is Philip Carr-Gomm. It's lovely to be with everybody. I can see everybody arriving into the clearing in the forest. Lovely welcome, everybody. So, as we arrive and settle, let's just give ourselves the luxury of just taking time to settle. In our fast-moving world, giving ourselves just a few moments to settle is often a rare activity, just because life moves so fast and the pace of life moves so fast. And I think one of the things that Jairamji does is it helps us to slow down. The other day I heard the sound of a dog walking over barley, a field of cut barley, and it was making a funny sort of squishing, popping sound. It was rather wonderful. So let's just tune in for a moment as we can sense everybody arriving and filling the circle with joy and with a sense of connecting us all from many different parts of the world. And just see how you're feeling. Take a few moments. A little rain check for the soul. And then just might even be changing as you tune in. Your feelings might be changing, but just get a sense of how you're feeling in the moment. I wanted to share a thought with you. In the book that I've been working on, it's about the eightfold wheel of the year, and I make a comment in my introduction to the book about nobody would consciously set out to destroy the earth. So the way in which humanity has been destroying the earth can't be conscious. It has to be coming from unconscious motives in this way of reasoning. And then we go into looking at how come one might behave unconsciously in this way. Because who would destroy their home? Here's a thought that's come to me that I want to explore with you. I'm not saying that this is true or right. It's just a very fresh thought. And I find it really helpful to explore with you because your comments really do help to elaborate and challenge and build and so on. And here it goes like this. It's about our relationship between limitlessness and limitation. And what can often happen, I think, is a confusion of levels. In other words, at a spiritual dimension, our source is limitless, the source of inspiration, life, energy, illumination is, I believe, is limitless. Awen is limitless. There's a lovely idea in the Grail tradition that once you've had access to the Grail from a bardic point of view, you have access to a limitless amount of stories. And even the story of the Grail itself can generate limitless variations. And so back to this question of limitlessness. So when we tune in, we can connect to a sense of limitless life. And that's not to be confused with being incarnated in the physical form here, which has its limitations. That life for us in the physical world is limited by our lifespan. This confusion of the limitless with the limited, I think, can explain a good deal. Because when you tune in to, for instance, the capacity to love all beings is a manifestation of our spiritual nature, if you like. We realize that we love all beings. We can make mistakes when we enact that love with all beings because we can't make love to all beings. And so the lack of boundaries you see in people who follow spiritual traditions from a sexual and relationship point of view can sometimes be traced, I believe, to this inability to make this distinction between levels. Yes, at this level we are united. At this level, no, we're not united. Our lives are running on separate tracks and so on. So this leaves us with the challenge and the task of discernment, of discerning where we find limitation and where we find limitlessness. And we know that limitlessness has its value because it provides a constant source of energy, hence life, hence illumination, creativity, and so on. What possible value can limitation have? Why were things set up this way that we have limitation? Well, here we have this interesting relationship between force and form, between this endless flow of energy and the shaping of it into matter and into embodied form. And anybody who's engaged in an art or a craft knows that it's the limitations of the form that provide the medium through which the limitless can express itself. So suddenly you see how the limitless needs the limited or the limitations in order to exist. Otherwise. So here we have the two needing each other, limitation needing limitlessness and vice versa. And it's when we detach from our connection to the limitless world of spirit that the world of limitation can start to feel like it's constricting and constraining us. And of course, when we open to the limitless world, then the world of limitation, then we can develop a relationship. I guess we've all had those times when we've connected so much to the limitless sphere that we start to take off and float into the clouds. And we need to be brought back to earth. And how many of us have been brought back to earth by our limitations? Whether it's illness or ill health or tiredness or a dear partner reminding us that we're mortal, or any number of different experiences that can reveal to us our limitations. And those revelations can be embarrassing, hurtful, painful, and difficult. And yet we can see that they're vital. And it's rather interesting, and this you have to be careful about this exercise, because if you're in a vulnerable or sensitive place, this may not be an exercise for you. But if you're feeling sufficiently robust, it's quite interesting to look at your life, not the series of triumphs and successes you've had, but look at the series of failures, the apparent mistakes, and ask yourself, how was my life formed by the mistakes that I made? What I feel is important is, in talking about looking at our mistakes and our failures, our limitations, and the relationship between limits and limitlessness, of course, this is all quite conceptual. What's important, I think, is also understand that we're developing our powers of discrimination and understanding and so on in order to think about these things, but also to have this all contained within a compassionate heart, to be kind to ourselves and to other people, because when you start to observe how judgmental you are, and I own that myself, when I start to observe how judgmental I am, I'm astonished. This is a classic sort of work of mindfulness, if you like, where you really become aware of your thought processes. And one of the things that's astonishing is how judgmental the mind is, constantly judging things. And of course, that's an evolutionary trait, that we need to judge things. Is this dangerous? Is this good? In order to stay alive, and so on. And then it's as if it's gone amok in some ways in our 21st century mind. And so we're judging everything all the time. And that's partly because so much data is flying at us. We must be careful not to be judgmental about our judgmentalism. But when we see that, we can realize how judgmental we are about our own mistakes and how harshly we might judge ourselves. And when we start to think about it in this other way, perhaps, there's a way in which we can be kinder to ourselves and to other people, and the mistakes they make and the things that they did that perhaps hurt us or that caused friction and misunderstanding. and really coming to accept that our mistakes, our vulnerability, our failures are part of who we are, that make us more human. So let's have a meditation now. Let's go into a meditation where we just open, letting go of these ideas now, just letting them drift down like autumn leaves, and just becoming aware of being in the sacred grove. Sitting here together in the circle, feeling the earth beneath us. And the earth is so rich from all the leaves, all the organic matter that has fallen onto this earth and gradually composted down into it over the decades. And all the life that's living in this earth, all the insects and all the creatures, and all the microbial life that's there too. And then the mycelium sending messages, all this connection that's going on, all this life in the earth. And the moisture, the rocks, the crystals and minerals, richness. And conveying to us as we sit here, just allowing us to somehow come to rest. Coming to rest on the earth. Just breathing on the earth, breathing in and out with the earth herself. And when we tune into the earth breathing in and out, we might sometimes hear her heartbeat. Just imagine you can hear a heartbeat in the earth. Just imagining that there's a heartbeat you can tune into, and then sensing how you can tune into this heartbeat. And by doing this, you can come into alignment with the earth more successfully. Breathing in and breathing out, and sensing the trees now rooted in the earth, their trunks rising up, their branches spreading out. Breathing in and out now with the trees. And we realize that they're breathing in and out too. And we can relax into the rhythm of their breathing. And breathing in the sky now, the energy of the sky, so that the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of our beings. Let's imagine that we're putting our hands gently on the ground and allowing the energy from our heads, our brains, just a sort of flow of energy down into the earth, that we can let our minds settle, that we don't have to understand everything and explain everything, that we can just let ourselves ground and settle by feeling the earth in the palms of our hands. And gradually imagine lifting the palms of your hands up now. Put your palms together in your imagination. And then imagine you're looking towards the palms of your hands. And you see there's a small earth, a planet Earth, floating above the palms of your hands that are held together. And see the miracle of it gently turning in the blue atmosphere, the white clouds, the familiar sight of the land below and green and brown and the great seas and oceans. And breathe your love gently onto this planet. Sense the energy of your heart flowing out to the earth. May this earth be blessed. May all species be preserved and protected. May the earth be protected. May the trees and the oceans be protected. A blessing on all life. A blessing on all lives. And then gradually separate the palms of your hands and allow your sense of the earth to change into it being the earth that you're seated upon. And sense all our love and energy rippling out across the earth. A blessing on the land, a blessing on the earth. Blessing on the earth. You reach out to a hand to either side of you in the circle. You feel that connection. You feel yourself seated in the circle with many others who've gathered from all over the world. And you just squeeze the hand to either side of you with a sense of solidarity, connection. And then you let the hands go. And as your hands drift down to your lap, you allow your awareness of being in the sacred grove to fade as you become aware of being seated here in front of the screen, fully present here and now, wherever you are. So, really good to be with you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. So much love. Have a wonderful week. Okay, bye.